let's kickstart the discussion of You Ask Me Answer with our most sought after question. Um, what was that one thing you took away from your global education experience?
I feel like in every discussion, I'm going to give a different answer
Is it?
because,
Which is
yeah,
great, right? Which is great.
yeah,
I
because I think
so
you can't just have one takeaway. I feel like.
absolutely
So I'm going to stick with the fact that we've already mentioned this in one of our discussions that it gives you a sense of independence and no matter which city and stuff you go in, it's going to give you a different sense of independence. But at the same time, it gives you a lot of perspective towards life, and it's a different, like, it doesn't matter, like, you went in 2013 and you went to LSE and I went to a really small town because that's just something I wanted, like, to experiment with. And some people go for different reasons altogether. So I feel like everybody's journey is going to be very different, but it
right.
is going to make you grow. And there is growth which is intangible that people don't really probably like. There are tangibles and intangibles. I feel like that intangible growth that comes into you as a human being, no matter what age you go to do your global health, it's unbeatable. You can't kind of compete with that. So that's my say.
When I went in 2013, I remember like my most overwhelming experience, Jigyasa, was being a part of a diverse cohort, right?
Yeah.
So that was my first time out of an all girls education. So my undergrad, college, as well as my school, both were an all girls establishment, and I went from an all girls straight to a co-ed, straight different country, different
Crazy.
form of learning, and people from all walks of life, right? Like LSE has a very, very cosmopolitan, not cosmopolitan, I think diverse sort of a
Diverse.
crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I just stood there like wondering, where have I landed? Like, how am I even going to deal with this? And of course,
Mm.
few days into the whole setup, I was more than easy and made friends. But that overwhelming feeling of getting to know so many people who you would have not otherwise, no matter what, like this was my only chance of interacting with them, that hit me hard.
I
And I
feel like
said,
that's such a beautiful like contrast that you had, and I
yeah,
think that is so nice because people say like for me, I was in international schools a lot when I was
yeah,
younger. Then I went to India and then I went back. So I feel like, yeah, I lost a few years in between where I had to adapt to the Indian system. But the fact that you went from, like, I have also gone to a all girls boarding school, but I was only for 2 years, and I was just like,
yeah,
okay, fine, I'm done with this. But the fact that you can adapt from something like coming from a completely all girls atmosphere, and we know how India in general is. I'm not gonna say anything bad about it, but it is kind of you're pampered and you're reserved and you are
absolutely.
like treated like that Maharani in your own house situation, and then you go completely to an atmosphere in a place like LSE where everybody is quite
Yeah, driven
head,
and very, very,
headstrong and driven. Nobody is just random. So that contrast and the fact that we managed to adapt that, I mean, I would like to see what the Tanya from before LSU was like,
oh no,
and
I
then
don't have
and then do
memory of,
like and then do
I
like
don't
a.
have memory of that time. I don't want to remember that time. But honestly, like I
No, but
went.
what do you think your changes in your personality were like?
I became inclusive, yeah, Jigasa. Like, uh, I learned to appreciate and respect diversity. I don't think so. Anything else, any other experience in my life has changed me the way global education has, in
So
true
that
sense of the word.
sorry, but that statement that we keep saying at TC Global, which is become borderless. So that really is true. It's
Yes,
not just physical borderless; it's the mental block that you kind of overcome, right?
absolutely, absolutely. And to be able to talk to people who you have no idea about, right? Today, you and I talk, at least we have a common mother
Mhm.
tongue, right,
Yeah,
Jigyasa? Today, you and
yeah.
I can strike a conversation in Hindi and we will get what we are trying
Hmm.
to communicate. My first week was spent in shock because I couldn't understand context. And that's a real feeling, right? And it wasn't only me. I started talking to people about it, and everyone is overwhelmed. I
Yeah.
don't know about how you guys took it, but for me, I was I was in a state of shock for a week, and it
Yeah.
took me quite some time to get over my initial fears and apprehensions, and then of course the ride was smooth.
Lovely.
Hello, Bindu.
We've got the expert on board. How
Bindu
are
Mama
you?
is here.
Yes, tell me.
Thank you for gracing us.
Thank you, Bindu. Thank you for being here. I think Bindu, you're frozen.
Yes.
Students can choose
Oh no.
between one and the other, really.
No, now we can see you. Now we can see you. Okay, cool.
Right. So, Bindu, we were discussing how what we truly learned from our experiences abroad, and we were
Mm.
discussing how the intangible aspects were weighed equally, if not more, equally important to the courses that we went for and what we learned in class. So we were discussing our outside of class experiences where I
I
was
did.
bowled over by diversity, and Jigyasa had her inputs to offer. So, Bindu,
Mm.
for you, like, what are your students, what are their biggest takeaways when they come back from global education journeys?
You know, a takeaway is what you bring back, but when they're
Right,
going, they're so, they have such different ideas and such different notions of what this big bad world outside, and they only see it as challenges, and they only see it, none of them look at it as opportunities, that they're
Yeah,
just a handful of, in 1.4 billion people, this handful of people who have an opportunity to go and sometimes make a
love that.
difference, sometimes not. But yes, of course, it's a change. It's a change in lifestyle. It's a change in responsibility. You are now responsible for yourself. We in India, we're spoiled for things like that. We're so looked after. We never make our own beds. We never make our own teas or coffees, and it's just done for us. But yeah, it's a learning. It's a great deal of learning. And I was talking to a couple of students also today. They're so worried about what's going to happen in the future. They haven't even applied yet, but they first want to know what will be my ROI, what will salaries look like, will I get a job? And my answer to anybody who's listening to us is apply. Start with baby steps in digestible quantities, and then you want a scholarship, why not, if you have the wherewithal to do it. So, and both Tanya and Jigyasa are very much part of the UK universities, so they're talking about that. But what I can say is it doesn't matter which part of the world you're in, as a student you have certain privileges, and that's not going to change. I mean,
right.
enjoy that area, student life, and the discounts and the opportunity to
Yeah.
travel,
Free
network,
pizzas, free
friends.
pizzas.
I just
I would have raved about free pizzas.
Yeah, I just wish I had like these sessions to attend when I was applying. I felt so alone. Like in when I was doing the whole process, I didn't have like a lot of help, and my parents weren't living with me either. So I was just like all over the place, like just working in the dark and sending them documents and be like, okay, this is done, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. But had I been part of these sessions and I got like this. Bunch of people who are doing something similar. It would have been so nice. I would have connected with them and be like, oh, you're going through the same thing. Acha, theek hai. Even that pre-departure checklist that you have, I feel like it's so important. And
Hmm.
had I got that, I just packed 15 kilos of stuff and I went. Like, that was how eager I was to just go and be done. Like, I just
You
want to go
probably
away.
had a you probably had a good time. Yesterday's session, one of the sessions somebody wrote and said, "How do we deal with homesickness?" Uh, well, my answer is very clear. Everybody over there is homesick. Everybody is on a new trip. Everybody is missing ghar ka khana. Everybody is, get on with it. And I've always said, if in 3 weeks' time you're still homesick, then I'm afraid you're in
You have
trouble.
issues.
Come back to us. Come back to us, and we'll try and find you some friends. But yeah, it's
Question is, Bindu, that in this whole phase of homesickness, do you tend to question the academic choices that you're making? Like, do you tend to feel that, oh, I came for the wrong program? Or, hey, have I landed to the right university or not?
no. It if you have chosen the wrong program, then it's not a question of homesickness. Then it's a question of guilt. Okay,
Yeah,
I insisted on this, or sometimes people choose uh, a course or a university based on other people's
yeah, I was just
inputs.
gonna say, yeah,
And that is one reason to come to TC Global, is that we try and match. your attributes, what you are looking for, with what you are capable of.
Yeah.
There is no point. There is absolutely no point in, and I'm not taking away from the fact that you're a 70% a student. Not everybody is going to be 90%, but average students need a good, strong university to build up the base. There's no point in going to Harvard. You will struggle. You will absolutely struggle. Or
Yeah.
lots of people come to us for an MBA. All schools, even the ones that have work experience, will take, say, 2-3% of their class who will be younger but
Yeah.
have something in them. They're entrepreneurs, or they've got that inbuilt X factor, and because of their interviews, not because of what else they bring. Sometimes students struggle in those kind of universities. And I've always said to them, I said, what's going to happen is that you're going to be the youngest in the class, the least amount of experience. You will do the dirty work. You will make the presentation, you will, put in the inputs because you're bright. But you will never get the opportunity to do the presentation yourself, or, because there'll be so many people ahead of you. uh, so go to look for universities which fit
Actually,
your
speaking of, sorry, I'm going to stop you there for a second. Speaking of that, before I forget, I actually got in because of my interview. I had
yes.
I had started my career with I don't think I've ever mentioned this actually. I after 12th grade went into hospitality with the Oberoi group of hotels, but because
Wonderful.
of yeah, it was a very elite thing to get into, and it was like only 30 people in India got in per year, so it was something which was very prestigious, and I was very sure about it, that this is what I want to do. But because of health issues, I had to, and I didn't want to waste the year. So I ended up doing English literature as a distance learning course in French, which in international degrees is obviously still considered distance learning. So to make them understand that I am not an average, not to put anybody down on distance learning or anything, but at that point of time, DU distance learning just meant you basically don't want to study. So to just till the time I did not meet the universities and I got to Manchester and a bunch of others as well, I had to present myself and say that these were my reasons. This is why I did what I did. And this is what I made out of my 3 years that I worked with startups. I did a lot of stuff. This is my experience in the business sector, but this is my language and this is my core competency. And this is what I want to do. So if you looked at my marks, because DU in distance learning did not grade you on anything, they basically have zero concept. So that marks factor was negligible in my case. But I think that the universities understood because they met me, they interviewed me. I went out for dinners and lunches with them, and it made a difference. And then, like I've already mentioned, I got a part-time job before I even joined the university. So you can do those things despite the marks
Yeah.
factor of it. And
Like
I
you
feel
said,
like that is something that not a lot of people tell.
Yes.
They're just like, अच्छा इतना marks है, you can go into this. इतना
No,
marks है, you can go
you're
into this.
right, Jigyasa. There is a very big myth surrounding distance learning degrees, and the what you did was phenomenal, right? You combated a potential hazard on your resume because not all
Yeah,
universities look at it really well, and
yeah,
if you do the right things for your profile, which is also called profile building eventually, like
yes,
after 3 years where you want to see yourself and you
yeah,
work towards in that direction. That is ultimately the mantra of life also for any kind of goal setting. Yeah, not only
yeah.
universities abroad, like getting into your choice of universities abroad,
Yeah, I
but
mean, there are a lot of reasons why people cannot continue with their studies, or they can't do, they have to skip a year or 2 years or whatever. But it's like what you do with that. And like, I know we've said this since the beginning of COVID, when we were on these sessions earlier, and this was like a mantra. We should just keep on speaking this, right? It's what you do in the COVID thing that matters. But now obviously people are flying, so it's great, and we're able to
yeah.
kind of
I
combat
mean,
that.
now when you go for interviews, for example, Rian, what's life in like in the UK as compared to Canada?
Canada. Oh,
If
less
possible,
colder, less cold.
and
You'll
what's
need
the
lesser
scope of
jackets.
immigration for both? Rian, my first question to you is, what's wrong with life in India? If you worked quite as hard as you will do in both these countries. I promise you, you'll be very, very successful in every sense of the word. But having said that, UK, look, let me not say UK or Canada, all countries outside of this subcontinent or Southeast Asia are they work differently. The work-life balance is an important aspect, not because in India they don't want it, but in India we have a lot of help, so that's why people tend to work longer hours. There, you have to work a 5 day week because there's
Yeah.
nobody else to help you out. So your Saturdays and Sundays is, and please don't think you don't work. Great 5 day week. Saturday, Sundays, you work doubly harder because you're cooking and cleaning and washing and getting ready for the week ahead. Life can be tough, like anywhere else. It's just what you make of it. But in terms of immigration, Canada at the moment, as in 24th of October 2021, is more open to migration than the UK is.
Right.
What the UK has done is that they've opened it up to giving you a 2 year stay back. It is for a post study work, but they've been very lenient and very good with people. You don't need to have any extras. There are no restrictions on it. Let me put it like that. If you successfully complete your course, any course, 1 year program in the UK, you can get a 2 year stay back and you can go in and out. Canada will allow you to apply for migration, especially if you meet their criteria. They have a point based system. So if you have a strong IELTS score, that only means that your English is good and that you can communicate. Okay. IELTS doesn't mean you're clever. For God's sake, no. It's nothing to do with it's to do with fluency. So if you have a strong English language base where you can speak, if you have studied in Canada, which means you are at the same level as a Canadian in terms of quality of education or qualification, you will get extra points. If you are certain age bracket, you will get, not that they don't want, they won't take kindly to me, for example, unless I have a job there. So for me, if I ever wanted to migrate, which I don't, to Canada, I would have to prove to them that I'm capable at this age to be able to get a job, and look after myself and not be dependent on them. But I will not get any points for my age or my I'll get points for job, and I probably will get points for the English language, but nothing else. So yeah, if you're looking at countries for migration, New Zealand has not opened up yet. There were only two, New Zealand and Canada,
Yes.
but you
Yeah.
can apply to UK for migration, but you need to be a minimum of 5 years in a job. And
Yeah.
the 5 years does not include study and post PSW, the post study work visa. After that, another 5 years, if you are working in an area of, say, health, healthcare, or in shortage areas, technical, those probably, eventually, you may be able to do it. But it's not a smooth, seamless. You can look at
Not yet.
Australia.
So we have quite a bit of questions coming in, Bindu, and
Yeah.
whoever wants to take this one up, which is the best country to do masters in hotel management? This one we can keep it short and
Oh,
sweet.
short
Switzerland.
and sweet, Switzerland. The Your question is going to be that, look, Australia and New Zealand contenders
Yeah, they are.
because
Yes.
their tourism is very strong, hospitality
Yes.
industry is very strong. But please don't come back to me, Rahul, and say Switzerland doesn't have a stay back. Yes, they don't have a stay back option. But anybody who studies over there in hospitality, the chances of you getting, unless you're really, 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 what I can't say stupid now on air, can I? Unless you're lazy. Let me put it like that.
Right.
If you study hard, you will definitely have a job within 2 months of graduating. So you don't have to worry about a stay back option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
everybody recognizes Switzerland. That's so true.
The
Yeah,
next
yeah.
question is, what is the scope of jobs of a data scientist of data sciences, sorry, in UK and Canada? I think I'll take this one up. Both
Okay.
data science as a field is all pervasive, and irrespective of the country that you're data science degree, you're in for a good run. Just make sure your technical skills are on point, and it doesn't matter whether it's UK or Canada. It's just that Canada has opened up for immigration a tad bit more, like Bindu said, than UK has graduate immigration route, but you qualify for that also. So as long as your personal skill set is good to go, data science, any country, even in India, you have great opportunities for data science.
Well, data is the magic word. To
Yeah.
add to that, is really a magic word. Do look at Ireland. It's huge in terms of data, and the chances
Yeah.
of jobs are very very bright. I'm presuming, Apurva, that you're a postgrad student. You will get a 2 year stay back, and the chances of jobs are. By the way, if you're not a science student, then you might be looking at data analytics, not data sciences.
Right.
So we don't know what your background is. All right,
The
Gauri.
next one is from Gauri. Hi guys, this is Gauri. I'm an IT professional with 3+ years of work experience. I've already done my master's in computer science. Can I opt for another master's program in Canada or UK or maybe Australia? Master's in what, Gauri?
No
Yeah.
problem. Where have you done your masters? If you've done your masters in India, you can certainly go in for the second masters, but the masters will have to be slightly different to
Yeah.
prove to them that you are. It's a progression. While it is at the same level, but you'll have to give them a reason as to. I mean, to do another masters in computer science is
If
so.
you opt for
You another specialization of a
yeah,
particular.
specialization.
If your
And
question is, can I
Apurva,
do it?
sure, yeah,
Can.
yeah. Apurva has a follow-up question, guys. Is UK costly compared to Canada?
Um,
Doesn't it depend
Not
where you stay?
university no, not university to university. University to college, Canada is cheaper or less expensive, uh, but not in terms of universities. So if you want to do a 1 year PG diploma, then that is
But
less
I think
expensive.
her question is more is UK overall living cost wise compared. I'm guessing.
They're all about the
No.
same. They're all
Yeah.
about the same. They're 10, 11, 12 lakhs per year.
Yeah.
They're all about the same. Indian rupees, okay?
And Rahul has a follow-up question too. Is UK good to do masters in hotel management? There are a couple of universities that offer
Um,
There's
certain.
Europe as well. Why don't you try
Yeah,
Europe? Europe is great.
yeah.
France is great also. So they've got a lot of options
Just
along
I
with
feel, in degrees like Jigasa Hotel Management, now we should see like where the industry is, right? Like the vibe of the
So
city is super important.
France after Switzerland has
Yeah,
got some great
yeah,
options. So especially if
right.
you're doing bakery and all of that kind of stuff, then obviously one of the best places are there.
Yeah, yeah. So like a
yeah, yeah.
culinary school with a hotel management option will be a far greater choice than, let's
Yeah.
say,
No,
a
he's
university that excels its name in math or statistic degrees. So it's just if
they may not have hospitality, but
yes,
yes, hospitality, hotel management, Rahul, if you want to do, especially if you want to split that into not hotel management, hotel, by the way, that's what I studied. 50,
Yeah.
but what I want to say to you is this, that hotel management is now hospitality, and it
Correct.
covers a
Yeah.
gamut of hotels, airlines, hospitals, any service industry. So if you're and then you want to diversify, if you studied hotel management already or hospitality management, and you want to do events, or you want to do adventure sports, or you want to go into niche areas like that, then UK will get a lot of choices. The other
Hmm.
place where you get them is New Zealand, but as I said, New Zealand is not opening up till next year, definitely. So we don't know what's going to happen there. But we are talking about culinary. If you want to do culinary, you don't obviously want to do culinary.
yeah,
But if you do, then the School of Culinary Arts, the Academy of Culinary Arts, I think,
yeah.
in Switzerland is number one on the QS rankings. I don't think they're here. Group is not here today, but
No,
do
they're
talk
not.
to your RM. Do talk to your RM. They're number one. Okay,
Yeah.
and they have a year in the US. So you study a
Yeah,
year here and you get a year's internship Currently pursuing my bachelor's degree
in hotel
oh,
management
in
from IIT
Manantapuram.
Tiruvananthapuram.
Yeah,
So you
Trivandrum.
obviously want to do hotel, like
Right, right.
hospitality business.
Hmm.
And
By
Apurva
the
is
way, you're not
sorry.
pursuing, you're studying your bachelor's degree.
Okay.
I have a bogey about it.
Apurva is asking that yes, you were right. I'm a UK postgrad student in the field of big data, going there in Jan. Great, Apurva. I think all the best for your journey, and we wish you all the luck. Which takes me
God
to
bless.
Anjali's question, which we missed out. Are there
Which
exceptions?
university, Apurva? Tell us that also. Huh.
Oh,
Go ahead.
yes, we would like to know your university.
Oh, amazing.
Sheffield Hallam
Oh,
University.
Lovely.
nice,
Nice, nice.
nice. Nice
So
city also.
Anjali's, it's a quaint city. Like I really like Sheffield for its, lesser
Oh,
number
but
of.
it's a big city.
Yes, it
It's
is big, but
Yeah.
Bindu, I had a few friends in Sheffield, so I would go, and my shopping trips were much easier in Sheffield as opposed to London. I'm gonna sound like a snob,
yes.
No,
but
I used to do that. I used to do that as well. Like when I had to, I would go from Huddersfield to London, but then on the way I would just Leeds or Sheffield, just like go on the shopping trip
Uh,
there and then go.
and
yes,
Apurva, I have to say
Less
to you that
crowded.
Sheffield is a very, very, very pro student university. They're extremely helpful,
Yeah,
make full
absolutely.
use of their international office, make full use of their career office. They're a very pro student. Okay, where were we? We were with somebody else.
we were on a
Actually,
question by Anjali
Yeah.
Tandale. Are there exceptions for IELTS score if you have scored less than the university exceptions in the UK?
Anjali, can you tell me which university you're talking about? They only ask for 6.5, and if you haven't even got a 6.5, then you might be in trouble in any case with your assignments. But yes, universities do have an IELTS waiver. UK at the moment, again, as on 24th October 2021, don't hold us to it next year. We don't know what's going to happen. But you can, if you've got more than 75%, in your year 10 or 12 or whatever,
yeah, it
you
depends
can.
upon the university, and if
Depends.
you get in touch with your RM, they will be able to find it out for
Yeah.
you.
If you're in a Russell Group school, then they will probably want the
They
IELTS
will.
or PTE or whatever. Yeah.
Or TOEFL, yeah. Even
Yeah.
that is
Not everybody accepts TOEFL.
TOEFL though, but yeah, I mean, it is one of the options.
Yeah.
So, okay, great, Apurva. Looks like you're all set for the uni life. Hope you have a great journey ahead. Which takes me now, this discussion, guys, I really want to touch upon a few things. Oh, Mayur has a question. What is the weightage of academics for good accredited university? Quite a bit.
Good question, Mayur. Which country?
UK, I'm assuming. Actually, for masters, I think,
UK, 100%.
yeah, your marks matter a lot. I mean, your
Yeah,
GPA, and in cases where you require the GMAT or the GRE, they are the first filtering mechanism to any
Mm.
application in these
absolutely.
UK,
universities.
Canada, Australia, Ireland, Singapore, and Dubai are all based on academics. The
Yes.
US requires you with an extra GRE GMAT also.
We have,
Sakshi,
we have a question from Sakshi Bangad. A scholarship in
uh,
okay,
you want me
go
to
for it.
take that?
Go for it, Bindu. Go for it.
Okay.
I will give my 2 bits
Uh,
later.
yeah. The criteria first getting an offer. So if your application is a nice strong one, while they've been waivers for GRE GMAT, if you've taken the trouble to get it, they will add to a scholarship checklist. So yes, if you have really really good marks and you have a strong GRE or GMAT score, uh, and of course the university has certain number of scholarships, you will. They're very, very, very popular programs. The scholarships may be much less, but the not so popular programs will have higher scholarships. Any
Bindu,
of
I
you?
have a question for Sakshi. Sakshi, for masters or undergrad? So my
Yeah.
first question would be that, because for masters, what happens is that either it's need based typically or merit based, right?
Merit
And
based,
for
yeah.
merit based, you have to be like the top notch creme de
Master.
la creme kind of application, like Bindu mentioned. That merit needs to be seen on your application. If not, then you can apply for external scholarships. I mean, but you getting it for a master very very slim. So just putting it out there.
Also, there are loads of types of scholarships apart from merit and need based. There is always early bird. There's always stuff that's for
Yeah.
international or Indian students. There's always, if you are applying for a specialized course and you are somebody who fits into that picture, like we were talking about it on stage, that obviously if you're a STEM thing and you're a woman, there are a lot of these kind of scholarships as well. So explore your options, ask your RM, and this is a good time to actually go and speak to the university and ask them directly, because a lot of the times they give you stuff like that on the spot and they let you know what your options are. So
Right.
probably
Also,
just
don't
check it
forget
out.
that the US doesn't call them scholarships; they call them fee waivers.
Yeah.
So sometimes the beauty of the US, which nobody else has, I'm not US centric. You will soon realize, but the only flexible people that even if you join the course without a scholarship, you make the dean's list, which is not difficult for Indians.
Yeah.
You make the dean's list and you can get a fee waiver in your next semester. You keep your marks
Yeah.
there, the next following semester you have a fee waiver. So it's the only country that does that. For the other countries, whatever you get in the beginning is what you live with. You can't get it in between. The Americans are great in their
That's a
education
good
system.
point.
Oh, we have a
Yeah.
lot of questions again, guys. If so, Mayur
Yeah,
has a
we've now
question.
got nearly 30 people watching. We
If
had
if
no.
the if the GPA is less, how can we improvise on our profile for MBA and finance? I have more than 5 years of experience. Mayur,
Uh,
GPA
but
doesn't matter for MBA as much
no, no,
as
it does. It does up to a
oh, it
point. I
does.
don't
I
know
mean, yeah,
how low your GPA is.
yeah,
If it's reasonable, it's see, Mayur is also dependent on which university. If you're
Yeah.
looking at a
right,
top end university, I mean, if you're looking at an HEC Paris or that kind of
right.
thing, they will count on the quality of work that you've done, what kind of skill sets you bring to the table. Were you a supervisory? Did you have at least a supervisory role? But for masters, that is not going to count. What will happen is that your CV will be stronger, so that when you finish and you're looking for a job, you'll have a very strong CV. But work will not count towards your score. But that's an individual thing. You'll have to sit with your RM and take her
Yes.
inputs and take her inputs on it.
Mayur, we recommend that to discuss all these in detail. Why
Yeah.
don't you head to the Expo tab, get on the RM booth, and really speak to one of our RMs? They will be more than
Yeah.
happy to help you.
Yeah.
Build out a good storyline and see where you can land at. Yeah.
He has a
Also,
percentage less than 50%.
mm,
I'm sure there's something that can be done around it. It's yeah. You
yeah.
can definitely head to our RMs and they'll help you out in that.
Mm.
Anjali says, I have applied to NTU, Kingston, Greenwich, and Westminster MBA and MSc management programs and also have received offer from these universities. Okay,
So, Anjali, you have work experience then?
yes, it looks like that.
Ah.
And Sakshi is saying, what is
If
the
you've
chance
got
of.
offers from all of these,
No, I don't
uh,
have WorkX. Anjali is saying, I don't have WorkX. And there's another. Oh, sorry, it's too
NTU requires WorkX, isn't it? So NTU is one of
NTU
the
could be,
That must
nicest.
have been the
MSc
MSc.
management, no? Could be MSc management for fresh graduates, Bindu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kingston,
I mean,
Greenwich, and Westminster are in London, so the cost of living will be at least 1.5 times, if not more.
yes.
So if you have a budget constraint, then look at NTU.
Oh no,
And
Anjali is asking that I was asking you about IELTS for these universities.
oh, that's individual. You'll have to. It'll be individual
Check on,
universities.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't
That's
think we
why
can.
the RM booth is there, guys.
Yes, please head to the RM booth. And Apurva has a question: is IELTS 7? Anything more than 6.5 going to give you more scholarship?
Where is
Hmm.
the
No,
question?
no,
Like
but
Bindu said, I
not in
think
the
it's
UK.
not a
Not in the.
yes, it's a mark of English fluency. So yeah.
Yeah.
So, Anjali, I think you'll have to go to the RM booth and speak about these universities independently to our RMs to get more
Or
insights.
tomorrow, when you, or day after Monday, when you talk to your RM in Pune or wherever, or Mumbai, you can certainly talk to them about it. But no, your scholarship is not based on that. Is not based on that. Somebody
Mm,
asked about external scholarships. Yes, there are external scholarships. We have the British Council has the Chevening scholarships. For art and design, you have the Charles Wallace scholarships. You have Scotland has some solitaire scholarships. The other external
Ireland
scholarships
also.
are Inlax has scholarships. A lot of the companies have scholarships.
There are foundations also. I think Tata has a foundation
Tata
for
is also there.
scholarships.
Yeah,
There's Nargottam Sixeria Foundation for
there are
scholarships.
lots of them.
So there are
Lots
Please,
lots
of
of
that.
them. You can apply to those.
We also have a Instagram live on it, which is safe.
Yes,
So if you want to
which you
watch it,
can go. Yes, very well
exactly
pointed.
very insightful that was on
Yeah.
our scholarship.
Sakshi says, if I don't give GRE, is that
Yeah.
okay? Sakshi, apply now. This is, I think, going to be the last year that you're going to get a GRE
Yeah.
GMAT waiver is on since last year, and they've extended it to fall 22. Make the most of it. Make the most of it. It won't be there next year. Well, from our experience, we don't think it will be there next year. So
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 I
I
don't need
don't
to
need
give.
to give GRE. I think I'm going to answer that one, Bindu.
you turn.
Even if you don't need GRE, right? Like colleges are not test, they're test optional, they're not test blind. So if you produce a good GRE score along with your transcripts and your overall profile, I feel it adds a lot
That's
of
a
weight.
really good point. Yeah.
Yes, it adds weight to your profile. So just remember this phrase: they are test optional,
And
they're not test
scholarship.
blind. And of
And
course,
scholarship.
GRE is extremely important for procuring good scholarship. So yeah,
Yeah.
but
Now they're
Sakshi,
going to say, you just said IELTS is not. Look, UK is not. In the US, GRE is. Don't confuse the countries, please.
okay, I
You've
have
given
written.
TOEFL? No problem. No problem. You
What can
can do
I?
it.
When can I expect an offer from these universities?
Oh,
Uh,
you've applied already?
What January intake is what I'm guessing this is.
Anjali, did you
No, no.
apply through TC Global? Would be my first question. Then we can definitely like look into it. And but if you've applied on your own, Anjali, then please head to the RM booth. We are
January
very
intake TC
happy.
Global.
Yes.
Strathclyde doesn't have a January intake, does it? Unless they have a
I don't know
London
about
campus.
Strathclyde, but Sheffield Hallam does, and I can at least tell you about
Coventry,
that
no,
one.
and
Coventry does, Sheffield Hallam does, Essex Oakley
Essex,
does.
I know.
But currently, the offers are being, the timelines have increased because of the influx of applications that are happening. So, on an average, unfortunately, it has now increased to over 4 weeks of time that
4 to
they're
6
giving.
weeks.
So give
4 to
it
6.
time, but also keep in touch with your RM and make sure your portal is being, set and everything. All of that is in order so that we can get the international relations team can then get back to you and chase it forward.
Anjali, if you haven't heard from 15th of November, because we'll have to start pushing buttons if you have to apply for
Yeah.
visa as well. And December, the
Pushing
High
and pushing
Commission.
the button means telling your relationship manager that you haven't got it. So
Just tell them
that
that
is
we still haven't heard and we need to do it. All the account managers will come alive again after
And
Diwali.
Janice has a question because we are running out of time, guys, and we have
yeah,
quite a bit to cover.
that's a lot of
Job opportunities and scope in Ireland after masters in regulatory and toxicology,
wow.
regulatory toxicology, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
regulatory and toxicology.
yeah.
Job
Who?
Yes,
opportunities
yes.
and scope.
I'll tell you. This is, they have one of the largest pharmaceutical. Okay, the Ireland is a small little country, but is the hub and the headquarters of all, and I'm capital ALL, major companies,
Companies, yeah.
their European headquarters. So all the big pharmaceuticals are all in Ireland. So getting a job in pharmacy or in pharmacology or in pharmaceutical companies and in the IT world, Ireland is a super great country to be in. Please apply you should definitely apply in Ireland. Definitely, Janice. That's a great place
And
to be in terms of jobs.
Sakshi has again a question. Can you please repeat? Do I need to give GRE? I'm planning to take admission for fall 22 in US. I got disconnected.
All right. You don't, it's not mandatory at the moment in most universities. Some will still want it, but in most universities, they have waived the GRE and GMAT. But, but if you're looking for scholarships and you're a good student, please don't be scared. Come to us, do a mock test, do a GRE mock test so you have an idea of what the program is like and do a GRE. It'll help you in two ways. One, it tells them for the US, and two is when you go for the visa interview and the guy says, the visa officer says that, what's your GRE score? You won't have to say, oh, they waived it, which means you weren't really a very took the advantage. But if you don't want to do it, uh, the choice is yours. Should you do it? Probably.
Adds weightage. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
The last one for the evening, guys.
Yeah, we're on it.
Before we get logged out from the session, scope of digital marketing in UK. Nidil, this is
Nidhi Joshi has been attending all our sessions because this is not
Really.
the first time she's asked. Am I right, Nidhi? Our
Nidil.
digital marketing in our AI one as well. Yeah. Nidhi, digital marketing is here to stay. The digital
Yeah.
world is here to stay. Um, I don't know how. In fact, I should leave this to the youngsters. I don't know how digital marketing works because I'm not
Digital marketing,
young.
especially whether you have scope, I'm guessing you're referring to the academic bit of it, then obviously it's a great place to do it. But also in terms of work experience, now that you have those 2 years to go and intern at places and actually work, especially Manchester and London and all of these places are coming up with insane agencies which require digital marketing. And if you have an experience from them, even for those 2 years, and you go back into the world anywhere else, it adds a lot of value. So I'm going to say the scope of, and like Vinod already said, that obviously digital marketing is something that is here to stay. So that's my 2 cents on it.
And we have a question from Rahul Desai. Scope of architecture in UK. Rahul, UK has some brilliant architecture schools. UK also has some brilliant design schools, and UK in general is known for some excellent master's degrees in this field. So feel free to apply, feel free to reach out to our RMs to understand what programs are being offered and what's the scope in terms of employment,
Sorry,
I
yeah.
guess. Yeah. By and large, architecture is a very broad term. I don't know whether you're looking for undergrad, postgrad. Appreciate if you could go to the RM booth and take some tailored advice. Uh,
Uh,
yeah,
Masters in architecture. Yeah,
architecture.
you can do an MArch, but we would suggest, it's only a suggestion, that we are not looking at architecture as architecture. Look at more specialized areas. But if you want to work in the architect, you will need the RIBA accreditation. So just make sure that whichever university you pick is accredited. Those modules will help you get the RIBA accreditation. That's one. Otherwise, you could be looking at things like what should I say, sustainable material. Nottingham has a brilliant course in tall buildings or long buildings or something like that. Very very niche, which sometimes help you stand out from a bunch of architects. But yes, if you studied in India, you've already done 5 years. Well done, congratulations. Yes, available, many, all the big schools. But if you want a design part of architecture, see, architecture also goes into two distinct areas. If you're looking at spatial design, the design element, then you'll probably need a portfolio different schools. If you're looking at this engineering side of architecture,
Right.
then you will look at, or the science side of architecture, then you will look at different schools. So, you need a more one-on-one discussion with your RM to pick pick on what you need to do.
And the last one for the day, could you please introduce yourselves in brief? Apologies, had joined late in the session. My name is Tanya Apurva. I work with TC Global in the international relations team. And over to you, Jigyasa, for a very quick. Okay, and I'm a postgrad from LSE. If that adds credibility to my profile. Over to you, Jigyasa.
My name is Vigasa. I also work for the international relations team, and I did my master's in marketing communications from Huddersfield, which is also in UK. And I had a business before this, again to add credibility to what I want to say.
Absolutely. And Bindu, your age adds credibility to your experience. I don't think so. You need an introduction.
Yeah, this is my.
Awesome.
No, I love the way she wants to know who we are, Apurva. Thank
Yeah,
you
I
for
love it.
Yes, thank you so much,
Um,
Apurva. Thank you.
You made our
yeah,
day.
and
Like,
I'm Bindu Chopra. My credibility is that I've been around far too long.
everybody in the education space in India and abroad knows Bindu Chopra. So
Yes.
I'm the
that's
grand
our
old
credibility.
lady on the circuit. So yes, we're very, very happy to answer your questions. Today we thought we would do a session on life in the UK, but you've given us a chance to talk about your
Careers in the UK.
concerns.
Yeah.
We're
Lovely.
very
I love
happy
it.
with that. All of you who applied through us, just wait for it. Come December, before you leave, we will do our signature pre-departures. Every year it used to be face to face in a nice big hotel. We used to have, party time. We used to talk about all kinds of things, what to carry,
Major
what
FOMO for Tanya and me.
to
I don't read my. Don't.
It used to be such a fun evening, but now we do it virtually. So just keep a lookout for it. Your RMs will tell you. It will be sometime in December, where we will help you with, the latter half of your concerns. Right now, it is getting a scholarship. It's getting your admissions going. We will then help you with. Please talk to them, okay, for other services as well. We help with accommodation. We help with money, with insurance, with foreign exchange, with lots of holding. Um, just write into us, okay, and just keep
Yeah,
in
free
touch.
departure is definitely worth
So,
attending. I think.
yeah, but
Right.
unfortunately, as I said, we do it virtually. Maybe
For
next year, for
now.
all of you,
For now.
September next year. If you're looking at September next year, let's keep our fingers crossed that we do a
We do
face-to-face
it in
one.
Even
person.
I'm crossing my fingers. I want to attend it also in
Me
person.
too. Me too.
And it's really a
Thank
fun.
you. Thank you, everyone. It was so great
Aishwarya.
answering all your questions. Thank you,
Oh,
Aishwarya. Uh, Jigyasa and Bindu, I think you added great insights and such valuable inputs to this discussion. Thank you for doing this, guys. And
Thank
to
you,
our
guys.
amazing audience who really, and
We
yeah,
loved it.
really.
we loved it.
Today
We
was
loved it. Thank
one
you.
of our one of our
Yeah,
nicer interactions that we've had.
Yes. I think
Oh,
we did the last one with a
lovely.
bang.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much,
Love
guys.
you
This
all,
was
and
Thank
really,
amazing.
you.
God
Thank
bless.
you.
This was
God bless.
amazing.
God
And
bless.
all the best to each one of you for your global ed journeys. And take care, everyone.
Bye. See you.
Okay,
Bye.
bye. Bye.